Hello guys and welcome back to my channel for another FM21 tips and tricks video. In today's video I'm going to be covering some of the gems that I managed to pick up last year on FM20, doing my tier 10 to the Prem save with Longwell Green, taking Longwell Green from tier 10 of English football as high as we possibly could, and also my started from the bottom save where we managed to take Bath City from the Conference South and ultimately win the Champions League with them. Now, some of these tips are very obvious, some of them even seasoned FM players don't know about, so make sure you tune in and hopefully I can improve your scouting abilities and being able to recruit some of the best players available for your level. So let's get into it. Okay then guys, so the first tip from me is to take a look at your recruitment package, and you find that by going into the scouting tab on the left hand side, over to the players, going into players search, and then here is where you find your recruitment package. As you can see, I'm currently signed up to the National League North and South, which is the lowest package available and covers players in your division. As you can see though, that is taking up my total amount of budget, which is the total of 32.5k, which is conveniently all we are allowed. But basically what that will do guys is that will allow you to know a little bit more about these players in those divisions. Now what you can do is, or what you used to be able to do, is say I want to cover the UK and Ireland, and then it will pop up with this message: the total cost of this package will be 360k for the year. Monthly deductions from the scouting budget will be 30k, which obviously is just under what we can afford total. The cost of the most expensive package selected will be deducted from the scouting budget at the end of the month. If there aren't enough funds in the budget to meet the monthly package costs, then the club will have to cease the package. Would you like to proceed? Now what you can do is, if you select yes here, I am now covering all of the UK and Ireland, which means my scouting knowledge will vastly increase. As you can see, it's pulled in Johnny Gorman here already from the Toolstation League. We've got lads in here from West Ham. We've got lads in here from Premier League clubs, Rowan Smith, Wolves, Crystal Palace, West Ham again. It basically covers a lot more of the people. But what I will say is make sure you do all your scouting on one day. So you could say, Paul Apaya, I think this guy looks really good. You go over to scout him, because he won't be searchable other than if he is as you set it up right now. Do all your scouting, send your scouts out, and then once you've sent them out on the same day, make sure you do this on the same day, change your recruitment package back to the National League North and South, then you won't spend all your budget. Make sure you select it, do all your scouting in one hit, send all your scouts out there. Even if the assignments do pile up, it is best for you. You can find so many more players this way. So if I set it back, so we go over to cover the UK and Ireland, and let's say I would like to search for a centre back who has attributes, good attributes of heading, marking, tackling and positioning. It's kind of the holy section of centre back attributes, and let's just start increasing this until we find some of the better ones out there. As you can see, we're pulling in even players completely unknown in terms of their clubs. Obviously we are pulling in people like Siddiq here, who is from Crystal Palace's under 18, so maybe you'd be able to pick him up. However, it is also picking up all of these free agents. As you can see here, some of the players that you wouldn't necessarily have found beforehand just by searching for your division, and this is kind of how you find very good centre backs for your level. Make sure you have this button ticked here, interested in transfer, and then go from there guys. But make sure you do it all in one day and switch it back to the package that you can afford for the season. My second tip is all about staff. Make sure you have the best staff for you to succeed. As you can see, I've just started a save here with Bath City. We currently don't have a chief scout. We also don't have we've only got one of the two scouts available to us. So let's take a look at our scout here, Jack Davidson. He is a new gen, and he is woeful. So he's got 5 for adaptability, he's got 5 for judging player ability, and 4 for judging player potential. So not necessarily the player, the guy that you want scouting all your players. So what I will suggest is you go into the staff search. I've already got it set up here with this amazing view here from Passion for FM. I've done a video on that. I will leave a link to the card in as a card now, so you can go and check that out and take a look at how to install these amazing views. But as you can see here, I have this all set up here looking for scout. So we've got the staff role search for scout, judging player ability, I've got it at 8 because that will be a massive improvement on what we've already got. And then you can go through and you can see here, right, he's got adaptability of 14, judging player ability of 9, but he's also not very good at judging player potential. 8 and 7 is a vast improvement with 12 adaptability, so you might want to look at someone like this. 8 and 7 again with 12, and then you sort of work your way up and you can find more and more. Peter Allen, for instance, 8 and 6, 5 adaptability, not necessarily the best. 10 for adaptability and 9s on player ability and player potential. Jamie Shaw, I think, would be a very good acquisition. So obviously you go to appoint him and then you pull him in as a scout, for instance. And then what this one does is it also orders them by rating. So you can see here, George Cowie, the Scotsman, whilst he is a scout there, adaptability 13, judging player ability 8, and judging player potential 7. I think he's a very good person to pull in as a chief scout, in my opinion, for the National League North and South level. But his added bonus is that he has scouting knowledge of Scotland, Papua New Guinea, England, and Australia, which leads me over to the world knowledge section. So the scouts, or members of staff rather, that you pull in will also lead into your regional knowledge section. So if you go back into your scouting menu and then you go over to regional knowledge, as you can see here, I have some knowledge around the world, predominantly through my staff. However, I've also got some through my affiliated club, which is very nice. I think that's a new feature this year. I think that must be a new feature. Anyway, so as you can see here, I know England very well because of my assistant, Jim Rollo. Jim is a stalwart at Bath City, an absolute legend, and he knows England and Wales, which is great. We also know Wales through Billy Clark, one of our heads of youth development. He has almost a full understanding, 77% understanding of Wales. Italy, we've got through this club here, Calcio Lecco. I don't understand why we have that. Why do we have that? Let's go into club info, affiliates. That's because they are affiliated with this club, which is, as I said, something completely new this year. So if you have a senior affiliate and they have better scouting knowledge, that will also boost your scouting knowledge. So Bath City also have 2 affiliates here, Bristol City and Lecco in Italy. So that is why their scouting knowledge in these areas is boosted. As you can see, they're getting scouting knowledge from Mali, Thailand, France, Northern Ireland, Portugal, and Republic of Ireland, all from Bristol City, which is just fantastic. Increasing this knowledge will ultimately increase the amount of players available for you in searches, because your scouting team and your coaching team already have knowledge of these areas. So if we do go back to the staff shortlist, staff search, and take a look at George Cowie, if he were to become our where's his scout? There we go. If he were to become our chief scout, for instance, you can see we would then understand Scotland, Papua New Guinea, and Australia more, again allowing us to bring in more players into our search pool. So tip number 3 from me is to control your scouts yourself. You can set the assignments. I know people are very hands-off and delegate this to their chief scout. Personally, I cannot recommend doing this yourself enough. Go into your assignments again, and here you can see your scout and your performance analysis. Once you've got more than one scout, I'd like to leave one scout in the next opposition. For that, make sure they have some tactical knowledge. This guy with 4 tactical knowledge, not very good, so make sure the person scouting your next opposition has tactical knowledge. However, if you have more than one scout, go into here and change their assignment. Annoyingly, guys, I can't show you this because Bath only have 1 scout and you need someone scouting your assignment, your next opposition. However, what you can do is you can go into the assignment, set it up yourself. You can say what you want to be searching for. You can be searching for specific players, or specific positions rather. You can search for players who fit your tactic. You can search for hot prospects. You can search for first team players, and you can actually get them searching for what you want rather than what they think is a very good player. This way they will find someone who can actually pull in players that, as I said, that you want in your team to fit your formation and the style of football that you're going to play. In addition to this, there is also the request director of football suggestions. If you are lucky enough at lower league level to have a director of football like I do here, Tommy Anthony has actually got very good determination and discipline and decent enough adaptability, but he can't judge a player for toffee. But what he can do is he can give you suggestions. So go into the director of football here and request director of football suggestions. Now, I could say that I would like to find a striker who can play in all roles at the end of his contract, or let's go free transfer actually. We will get the director of football to suggest 3 players for us. As you can see here, he's brought in Michael Kennedy here, the 23-year-old from Northern Ireland, coming in at a 5-star advanced forward, which would be perfect for what I'd want to play. He's also pulled in this target man here, French target man, 5-star target man for Bath City, and he's also pulled in Alex Nimley here, a 5-star advanced forward. So don't sleep on the director of footballs, guys. If you want to get suggestions from multiple players, you can do that. If you wanted a goalkeeper as well, get them to suggest it. They pulled in Brandon Hall here from Hereford. Again, looks like a decent player, but don't sleep on the director of footballs, guys. They can be very, very useful. Obviously, same as the scout, the better they are at judging player ability and player potential, they will be able to give you better suggestions on who you should be going after. Tip number 4 from me is setting your filters for scouting. How many times have you been playing Football Manager and you've been bombarded with emails saying about all these free agents with their agents trying to peddle their client into your club? Well, you can actually do something about that. If you go into the scouting section here, go into Scouting Center, go over to the filter, and now guys, now you can really hone in on what you want to be receiving. So if you only want to be receiving scout recommendations of players who are 80 and above, then you can just set it to 80 and above. You can set it to 70, you can set it to 50 if you want, or if you're just looking for elite players, you can set it to 90. Personally, I'd probably set it somewhere in and around the 70 mark. You don't want to go too high, otherwise loads of players will fall through your net, but you also don't want to go too low that you just get bombarded with loads of rubbish. The analyst team, you can turn this off. Recruitment team, you can turn this off, but this is the big one here. Agent offers. Ensure you're only contacted by agents about at the moment, and by default it is set as all players. If you untick this box and you only want to know about unattached players, for instance, or shortlisted players, you can untick the others, and then you will only be contacted by agents about these types of players. If you aren't looking for future prospects, if you aren't looking for transfer listed players, but you've already got a very nice shortlist, it would be very good to have this one turned on, guys. Also, agent notifications, you can have them on here. Mixed delivery, you can also say forward to the inbox, or you can just forward them, show in the Scout Center, or ultimately, if you wanted to just get agent notifications, you can just turn them off. Same with the agent offers, just click there, just turns it off. You won't get them. It's up to you guys. If you don't want agent offers, you can just turn them off. If you are feeling fruity, however, click this button here, Advanced Filters, and you can basically tailor make exactly what you want. So if you want team reports loans, you can keep them on. If you don't want, what wouldn't you want? Let's see. Unable to perform assignment, you can turn those off. Loan from feeder club, don't want to turn that off. Loan for trialist from feeder club, again, turn that off. End of contract suggestion from feeder club, I definitely keep that on. Recruitment package, turn that off. Youth competition suggestions off. Senior competition suggestions off. You get the idea, guys. You can go through and change it for the scouting team, the analyst team, recruitment team, agent offers, agent notifications, free agent offers, the other section which covers recommended signings from staff, and you can also do it for recruitment meetings as well. But as I said, this is quite a complicated menu. It could take me ages to set this up properly how I would like it, but you guys can play around now. You know that the menu's there. So then guys, the final tip from me, and probably the one that I use the most, is getting team reports on under 23s teams. Now, you can do this on basically anyone in the game. So we are going to go over to Manchester United, you can go in and you can see their under 23 squad. Now I've set this up here. Let's have a look at their contract view. As you can see here, you can see when their contracts expire. So you can see all these guys all the way down to Traore here are going to have their contracts up at the end of the year. So these are players that you can take a look at, and if Manchester United aren't looking at renewing their contracts, maybe you could pick them up to be in your team. So for instance, someone like let's take a look at Connor Stanley here. A big favorite of mine personally is a winger, Connor Stanley. As a rule, poor Connor doesn't usually get a contract from Manchester United after the first season, or at least he didn't last year. And you will be able to pick him up on a free transfer. But what you can do, guys, is you go into team reports, you go into under 23 squad, you hit overview, and you need to request a member of your scouting team to do it. Click get team report. So ask Jack Davidson to compile a team report on Manchester United under 23s. Additionally, Davidson may also suggest available players for loan from this club into the scouting center. So this kills two birds with one stone, guys. You can take a look at all the players in there to see if there's a player that you would like to keep an eye on whose contract's up, but it also gives you the option of players who will be listed for loan within that club as well. I do this basically for all the under 23s Premier League teams. I just go into here, Premier League 2, Division 1. I do all of these teams. I probably do a majority of the Championship teams as well. So go into Premier League Division 2 and tick off all these guys as well. So get the reports from these teams, know about these players whose contracts are going to be running out. And then at the end of your first season, hopefully once you've lifted your first bit of silverware, guys, you can pick up some of these amazing talents that have been released from Premier League academies. So guys, that is it for today's video. Hopefully I've given you 5 good tips here for improving your scouting within the lower leagues. If you have found this useful, drop it in the comments section below. Let me know that you've discovered something new here, whether it be the filters, the director of football suggestions, or ultimately just getting team reports for under 23s teams. As I said, that is my most used feature within this list for lower league management. If you have enjoyed it, if you have liked the video, if you have learned something new, also don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for daily Football Manager content. I will be back tomorrow at 5 PM UK with another Football Manager video. Hopefully, I'll catch you guys there.